let me just firstly thank the presenters, both from the department and Stats SA. But I want to say that what they present to us is really a very bleak outlook for the country. And much of what has been said is something that we in the opposition have been regularly stating: issues of infrastructure collapse, issues of water losses, non-revenue water. All of these is not something new. But what is alarming is the fact that in terms of the SDG targets, we are really way behind. I'm going to pose my questions to the Deputy Minister because, Honorable Chairperson, you know, the Deputy Minister has the option to come to our meetings and hand over presentations to the presenters. But he opted to give a summary. So I would assume that he had gone through the presentations. So he then will take responsibility as the executive. As members of parliament, we are here to hold the executive accountable. So my questions will be directed to him, and I would like him to answer them. The first one, Honorable Chairperson, is the fact that the department requires 131 billion rands annually to meet the SDG 6 targets. And this was confirmed also by Stats SA. My major concern is that I don't believe that this is a true reflection of the lived realities on the ground, because much of the information that we have comes from municipalities. And I note in the report that not all municipalities have in fact supplied the information that is what has culminated in the presentation. So the department requires 131 billion rands, but has access to only 12.5 billion rands per year. My question to you, Deputy Minister, is what concrete steps have been taken to reprioritize funding? You know, we're going to be dealing with the issue of the department's budget shortly, and this will be critical in that budget, whether we're going to be adding a few billions, only to find that it's not making any dent at all. So what steps have you taken to reprioritize funding and to eliminate wasteful expenditure and to hold the WSAs responsible for the 400 billion rands infrastructure backlog and the 47% water loss, which really, Honorable Chairperson, amounts to 9.9 billion rands annually? So that's my first question, Chairperson. The second relates to the collapse of wastewater treatment and environmental risk. You see, this is an area of serious concern to all of us, and it is the current state of our wastewater plants. And if you look at the reports, they suggest that wastewater discharge has plummeted from 52% to now 28% between and 2021, and that 334 wastewater treatment works are in a critical condition. You know what this means? It means that our waste is actually going directly into rivers and the sea. And where I come from in eThekwini, we know that this is a daily issue because constantly E. coli levels are being measured in the sea, and the E. coli levels are proving that many times beaches have to be closed. So it's clearly because waste treatment plants are collapsing. So what has the department done to enforce legal directives? Because clearly this is criminal on the part of municipalities, but the department has the responsibility to enforce legal directives. Because these collapsing waste treatment plants, what they're doing is they're polluting our rivers, they're polluting groundwater, and they are affecting our communities adversely. Chairperson, my final question is regarding the discrepancy between reported access and actual reliability. while 89% of South Africans are reported to have access to water, only 68%, according to the reports, experience reliable water supply. So how does the department justify this misleading data? And why has basic water service growth been a mere 1% over the past 3 years, despite billions being allocated annually? So we need to then look at the impact of the money that we are spending in the water department and whether it is achieving a desired outcome. So these questions are directed to the Deputy Minister. We're holding the executive accountable.
Significant questions that you've asked.
Yes, Honorable Chairperson, I want to really bring you a membership form for my party, and I'd like you to sign that when I see you again, because you really articulated most of what I wanted to say. The fact of the matter is that these become just talk shops. The reality is that the department needs 131 billion rands. It only gets 12.5 billion. That's not going to ease the problem at all. What we want to see is the Deputy Minister stated that there has been Section 63 interventions. I was going to ask him how many and how effective, but I already know the answer. There's been so few, and they've been not effective at all, these notices. In fact, it's done absolutely nothing. And I'll tell you what is the reason. The reason is that when you look at municipalities that are run by a particular party, and the leadership of this department here politically is led by the same party, you then find that politics is at play. They don't want to reprimand their own members and comrades. That's the reality here. What we need is a few mayors arrested. I remember having a discussion with one of the deputy ministers who said that the department can initiate criminal charges against a mayor. I want to see a mayor being put behind a police van and taken into the cells. That's number one. And when the department does that, they must come and report that to us. The second thing they need to report is a mayor's salary is now frozen because they need to start paying. The problem is that when it comes to legal challenges with municipalities, these politicians don't care a damn because it's not their own money that's involved. They're using ratepayers' money. They challenge the department. They go to court and they lose. They lose in court in cases where they stand no chance. So I also have not had a response, Chairperson, to the fact that in spite of we spending billions, only a mere 1%, right, of basic water services growth has been recorded in the past 3 years after spending billions. So now we are told that Mr. Ramaphosa and the finance minister has now prioritized water as number one, so that there'll be more funding. I am telling you that unless we get to the rot in this department of the way they're spending money and to ensure that they spread the butter evenly, effectively, and this is done in an expert way,